So did you guys hear that Abbey Sharp has apparently now changed her mind and opinions about things like health at every size and intuitive eating? Yes, the anti-diet dietitian who for years projected her own ED onto other people's diets, claimed that anyone who wanted to eat healthy is part of diet culture, claimed that intuitive eating was the only way. And if you couldn't intuitive eat, well, that's because you were, participated in diet culture and you were binging because of that, and food addiction isn't real and nonsense. Well, apparently now she has just posted a video where she is kind of rolling back on those takes. And she has addressed a lot of different things I think that she was getting criticism for. So one being kind of like her snarky attitude she had towards people when she was reviewing their diets. And then of course, like I just said, like the intuitive eating being the only way and the health at every size. So can you remember for a long time, she was like the anti-weight loss dietitian. I think that she was, I don't know if she was like against weight loss, but that was just, that was her thing, was her shtick, was she was there for people with EDs and she did not support losing weight, I guess, or dieting to lose weight. That was what I gathered from her content anyhow. And I think she also played into the health at every size movement, meaning like, okay, she would regularly review like what I eat in a day from self-proclaimed like fat girls or fat people, watch them eat whatever, and not say anything about their diet choices. So yes, it is this Abbey Sharp that we are talking about. And now she is saying she changed her mind. So we'll start with the very first one. Okay, so she talked about health at every size. I kind of skimmed through a lot of it just to get the general gist. But when she was talking about health at every size, she did finally admit that, hey, like obesity is not healthy, and that actually people, who have higher body weights, they are more susceptible to getting sick. They don't have longer lifespans, right? Things that we already knew. So she basically came out saying like, look, I support weight loss if, you are doing it for healthy reasons, you're doing it in a healthy way, which I think is, again, common sense. And honestly, I think that it's something that she believed all along, but is only now coming out and admitting it. So what I mean is, I don't think she ever believed that being fat was healthy. I don't think she ever believed in health at every size. I think she was only pushing that because it helped with her image, it helped with her brand, it was popular at the time. And I know for a fact that she didn't truly believe this, because when you look at her, number one, she's very, very much on the thin side. She eats very healthy. She's shared plenty of what I eat in a days. Even though she's an intuitive eater, she still eats pretty healthy. That was always what was like comical to me, was that, she talked about, eat whatever you want. And she was totally fine when people were eating junk food and they're what I eat in a days. But then when you looked at what she actually ate, it was mostly like vegetarian, like whole food, really healthy meals with maybe like, okay, a little bit of dessert at the end of the night, or maybe like a couple handfuls of chips or something. And same thing when you look at her kids are very healthy. She feeds her kids really healthy food. So if she truly believed in health at every size, why does she eat the way she eats? Why does she work out? Like, I just never bought it. You know what I mean? And she's been, doing these diet reviews even up until recently, right? Where she would review like people, like what I eat, fat people, what I eat in a day's diets. And they're literally like, okay, like I'm eating McDonald's for breakfast. I'm having, the sausage sandwich meal with the hash browns. Oh, and then lunch, I wasn't really healthy, so I had a slice of cheesecake with some strawberry sauce. And then dinner, I had the all-you-can-eat pasta at Olive Garden with garlic bread. She would regularly review videos like that and almost never have anything negative to say, which was interesting because whenever it was like someone who was like super fit and like clearly just, eating the way they ate to stay skinny or to stay fit, she always found something to say. Right? Always had to nitpick something. But when it came to like the bigger people and their diets, she would be like, oh, okay, McDonald's breakfast. Yeah, there's protein in that sausage sandwich. Oh, that cheesecake for lunch. Well, there's plenty of satiating fat, and that strawberry sauce. Yeah, it has some antioxidants. Oh, and more carbs for dinner. Well, carbs are good for energy. Right? Like it was almost like you could tell like through her, like you could see it in her eyes that she was like fighting to find something positive to say about these people's diets, right? Like I just never really bought it. And that was my issue with her and why I felt she was doing harm in that sense, because she's literally just supporting unhealthy diets. She's supporting obesity. And we know, okay, she said herself now that Obesity is deadly. It is killing more people than any kind of restrictive ED. I mean, you could call it an ED. It is. I think it's food addiction. So by continuing to push that, oh no, you can eat junk food, it's totally fine and healthy, and that, oh no, even though you're 300 pounds and what I eat in a day is eating junk food all day, every day, I'm not going to say anything negative about it, right? And so that was always my issue with her. She was just very hypocritical. I think the one that really did it for me and really angered me actually was the one where she did a review on, I think she's called like the donut mom or something, but people have issue with this mom, right? She's a very overweight mom, and she, does like, okay, what I feed my children every single day. And literally every meal, every video, I mean, breakfast would be like, okay, sugary donuts with like a side of gummy worms, right? And then, lunch would be, she'd go to Burger King and get, them all junk food. Literally every meal was junk food. Every meal was laden with fat and calories and too much sugar. And her thing was like, oh, well, I don't have a lot of money, so this is how I have to feed my kids. But we all know that that's just not true anymore. Okay, we all know that junk food and fast food, it is actually really expensive. I think it's a lot less expensive to eat healthy foods and get healthy foods in bulk than it is to get all that crap. But yeah, Abbey Sharp, I remember, reviewed one of those videos and came out in defense of that mom. She even got all like emotional at the end, like, oh, you're doing great, mama. This is how you have to feed your kids. Don't let people shame you. No, I mean, I disagree. As a kid who used to be obese, and suffer the repercussions from that, it's just not healthy. Kids are dying from obesity now. So yeah, I can't get behind that. And you could even tell in this donut mom, her kids were heavier than they should be. So she's only setting them up for a lifetime of disease. And look, once you get the weight on, it's a lot harder to get it off. So again, the fact that Abbey Sharp supported this, yeah, that upsets me. I mean, that is not, I don't think she can be a good dietitian if she's saying like, oh no, it's okay to feed your kids donuts every single day for breakfast. Oh, Abbey Sharp, come on, really? Do you feed your kids that every single day? No, you don't. No, you don't. I would bet once in the blue moon they get stuff like that, okay? There is no way in hell you are feeding your kids that crap. Yeah, so that I actually do find, I found really big issue with her on that. And I don't think she fully really addressed that because, I mean, yes, she's saying now like, okay, look, I do not believe in health at every size now. But you just posted some of these videos pretty recently. So either you just, very recently changed your mind, or you never actually really felt this way, and just now you're saying that you feel this way. Maybe because I think the culture is changing and you're finally seeing more backlash for some of your views. Is that really the issue? Is that the actual reason you're changing your views now? So is this whole apology just a grift? Because you see the backlash you've gotten and that the culture has changed, that people who bought into the health at every size, people who bought into your, intuitive eating junk food, they're now waking up to the fact that, oh no, I'm still fat, I'm miserable, I'm unhealthy, this is not the way to go. And now maybe your views are down, maybe you're not as popular as you once were, or you just can't take the backlash. So is the apology the grift, or was what you were saying before the actual grift? Did you never actually believe anything that you were saying, but hey, it got you views? To be fair, she kind of did address a little bit of this. Like she talked about her kind of bitchy attitude she had before. Because as you know, that was kind of her thing. She was like, okay, science and sass or something. And she would do these what I eat in a day videos and give her reviews, but she would sometimes have like an attitude about it. I mean, especially towards people, she, said that, oh, that's ED behavior, right? Which was very much, I believe, just a projection of her own ED. And to her credit, she did kind of say that too. She said, hey, I started my channel when I was very, fresh out of the ED space. And, so yeah, I think she admitted that some of her stuff was colored by her own projections. So, look, I can understand that, and I can understand that people do change. I understand, you can be very much radicalized into certain movements. And I think that the body positivity, health at every size, very much was a radical movement. And I think people got really emotionally involved in these beliefs. I think there are plenty of people now who are coming out and saying like, hey, I used to be part of the fat acceptance and the health at every size. And you know what? I'm just now waking up. So yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I think it is pretty evident that when she first started, she was even more so, I think, kind of on the, sassy side. And I think projected her ED even more she does seem to have calmed down since then. So I can believe that. And, she also addressed that, look, some of that was part of her brand. Like, she's like, look, people liked when I was sassy. People liked when, I said these things. And she's like, that was just, I was kind of doing it for views. And I understand that too, because it is true. Like, when you are a creator, like, people want to watch you for things that they like watching you for. So, I mean, like, if her, sassy what I eat in a day videos were doing well and people want her to do more of them, it's like, I mean, okay, I get it too. Like, there are certain subjects I talk about on here that do better than others, and people ask me to do videos on them all the time. So I'm like, okay, like, you give people what they want, basically. So I can understand that, like, her leaning into that part of her personality. And I think that's totally, totally fine. I mean, as long as it aligns with who you really are. Like, for example, I think like people like me giving skinny tips, and they like, the tough love, like pep talk sometimes. And so I'm fine giving those because that is part of my personality. I do believe in that. I think where it gets tricky or inauthentic is when you are solely doing certain things for views, and then you go down the route of talking about or, giving this persona of someone who you aren't truly, or, expressing views that you don't truly believe yourself. So I wonder if in Abby's case, I mean, that was the case, right? Because maybe she did in some way believe, I'm sure she did believe in the intuitive eating. I think she genuinely wanted to help people recover from their ED. The health at every size, though, thing, I think she just got drawn into that. I don't think she ever believed that. I really don't. Again, because look at her and her family. Look at how she eats. If she truly believed that, then why isn't she eating junk food every single day? Like, I don't know. I never bought that to begin with. And I think she only feels like she can say something about it now because the culture has changed, and probably because she has been receiving backlash herself, and maybe because she understands, like, actually there is damage in supporting the big food industry. There is damage in telling people it's okay to eat whatever you want, whenever you want, in however much quantity that you want. It is actually not a good thing. And then she did address the intuitive eating a little bit, and that she finally came out and said that, like, okay, maybe it doesn't work for everyone. And look, I can respect that too. I do believe that she really did think that intuitive eating is the way to go. I do really believe that she thought that everyone who couldn't do it did have like an ED. I do, because I think she was it was her own experience, right? That was her own experience. And a lot of times we do that. We color the world and everyone else based on our own experiences, and we expect that, well, because I had this experience, because I felt this way, because this happened to me, that means that, it's true for everyone else. And that's just not the case, right? So I do truly believe that she believed this. And I think maybe now I think she is understanding that that's not the case. That, now probably there are more creators, people like me, who are talking about intuitive eating just not working, and how, like, oh no, obesity, it is a real thing. I've always said that I think there is a genetic component. It's not the component where it's like, oh, just because I eat something, I'm just going to get fat. It's more the genetic component where it's like, my mind is wired differently. I can't eat certain things without like having that like addictive response, right? I just want to keep eating. Everyone is just different that way. Whereas people who can intuitive eat, it's like, okay, great. Oh, they can have a few French fries and then stop when they're full. Okay, good for them. If you can do that, intuitive eat all you want. I don't care, right? For someone like me, that it just doesn't work that way. Okay, I have a few French fries. I want to eat all the French fries, and then I just want to eat a whole pizza. Like, certain foods do that to me, whereas other foods don't. And that's why I stay away from processed foods like French fries or junk food, things that are literally engineered to be addictive. And that is something that has always bothered me about dietitians like Abbey, and I think like there's the Colleen Hoover or something, and the other ones. Where they talk about like, oh no, like there's no such thing as food addiction. Like that's just diet culture mindset, and you're just restricting yourself too much, and that's why you keep binging. No, that's not why I keep binging. It's because it's addictive. That's why. So look, I am all for people changing their mind, especially when it's changing their mind for the better. And I do believe that, look, you should give people grace. Like, people make mistakes. I get it. So I in no way hate Abbey Sharp, even though it seems like I'm being critical of her. I really don't. I think that, in all honesty, I think that she has a lot of great advice, and I agree with her on a lot of things. I really do like that she does call out like actual toxic diet culture sometimes. Again, sometimes she just projects, but she does make some really good points. And she does talk about silly things like, because people really do get silly in this health and wellness sphere, where they're just like, oh, drink lemon water every morning and it'll cure your cancer. right? Or, she'll call out things like, oh, well, you can't have bagels because bagels have more carbs than other kind of bread, and it has more calories and it makes you fat instantly, right? Like, she'll call out stupid stuff like that. And I like that, because that is very true that people can get silly with this kind of stuff. And I think that she had like orthorexia before, which is, it's like a fear of eating anything that like is not deemed healthy. And I know, because I had, my experience kind of with that as well when I was younger, and I got too skinny and I was restricting too much. So I do respect her efforts to really help people recover from their EDs and look at food in a different way. Like, I don't think that we should be afraid of food. And even though, look, I like to eat healthy, and I, don't like keeping junk food around me or bad foods around me, it doesn't mean that I think that we should be afraid of them and then not ever eat them, right? Like, I, again, told you guys so many times, I still do eat that stuff sometimes, right? I just don't eat it all the time. I don't intuitively eat it because I can't, right? So I don't think she's totally wrong in everything that she stands for. I just, I didn't like the grift part of it, right? Where she was, clearly catering to a certain audience and saying things that I really don't believe she ever believed. That part really got to me. But, look, if she wants to change now and she wants to have like a more balanced, truthful approach to her what I eat in a days, even if she wants to keep a little bit of sass, I would love that. I mean, I would love if she like reviewed some of those like diets that she reviewed before, where like, they're literally eating cheesecake for lunch and then like big bowls of cheesy pasta for dinner and like nothing else, you know what I mean? Like nothing nutritionally satisfying. If she would actually go through that and give what she really thinks, okay? I'm not saying she has to be mean about it. Again, I agree that like you can be supportive of people's weight loss and supportive of people being a healthy weight and not be assholes about it. Like, you don't have to be mean to fat people. I've said this so many times. I know, because I was bullied. I have experienced fat discrimination. That's not my stance at all, but I am just trying to call you out and tell you like, hey, no, if you were 300, 400 pounds and you're eating like crap every single day, that's not healthy. And you probably should change. You don't have to. It's up to you, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, health at every size. No, you're not healthy at every size. I don't care how healthy you try to tell me that you are. If you are 400 pounds and eating like crap every day, you are not healthy. That's just what I believe, right? So I think if she like, steered her channel more towards that way and just gave real honest opinions on things and like actually gave people real good advice, like, okay, again, how she eats really healthy. So why isn't she telling other people to eat like her? Because she has a really great diet, I think, okay? And she exercises, like she has really good tips that she follows herself, but she doesn't preach it to her followers, which is just very strange. So look, if she did more content like that, I think she would do really well and I would respect her more for it. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what she does, but I don't know. I just think it's just interesting. Whenever these kind of people come out, like these people that were in the body positivity space or the health at every size, which we are seeing more and more that, the grift is up, right? Because it's just not working. People are waking up to it and they're not even believing it anymore themselves. Okay. It's like the Clara Dow thing, right? How she got the breast implants. And, look, again, I agree you can change your mind. I agree that, it is very possible for you to love yourself with your imperfections and also want to change, because that's exactly what I stand for. But it's when people, again, like the Clara Dow, I mean, she, bamboozled her audience of millions for like years. Oh, I love being flat chested. I love being so skinny. It's natural for me. It's this and that. And then she goes and gets breast implants. And then her only like apology or only reasoning is, oh, well, because it's fun for me. No, that's not an excuse. That's not a good reason. Just tell the truth. If you're going to do it, that's fine. But just tell the truth. Just say, hey, look, you know what? I tried to be comfortable with my body. I really did. I tried to love my small boobs and I really want you guys to. But at the end of the day, I just really wasn't comfortable. And that's why I got the implants, okay? Because that makes me feel better. I can respect that. You changed your mind. You tried, right? But don't like say, oh, I just got it. Like, I still love my body. I still love my flat boobs, but I just, this is fun for me now. I just got them because it's fun. What does that even mean? Okay. I mean, same thing with like the anti-diet pilot girl that's on GLP-1 now, the one who was like, oh no, you should never lose weight for aesthetic reasons. And oh no, eating like crap all the time. This is healthy. You can be healthy at every size. And oh no, food addiction isn't real. She gets on GLP-1 for health reasons. Okay, so it's for health reasons. So, okay, clearly you eating like crap every single day and being as big as you were wasn't healthy, right? But she didn't say that. She just said health reasons. And then you can clearly tell like how happy she is now that she's losing weight. And then she's talking about how she eats and she's like, I have no food noise anymore. Like I can eat a normal portion of food and, and then be done. I don't have all these crazy cravings anymore. Oh, but wait a minute. I thought you said that food addiction wasn't real. a food addiction wasn't real, but now you're basically admitting that food addiction is real, except you're not really admitting it. That was the thing. She still doubles down on the fact that she believes in all this stuff while she's losing weight and happier than ever. That's my problem. That's my problem with these people. It's like, I can accept your apology if you actually really apologize and if you actually really tell the truth. Just tell the truth. That's okay. It's okay to say that you don't like being fat. It's okay to say that, hey, eating like crap is unhealthy. It's okay to say that obesity is unhealthy. Okay, people need to hear it. It's just the truth. Anyhow, guys, that's just my rant for today. I just thought that was really interesting that Abbey Sharp, of all people, is now backtracking. But I don't know. I mean, again, I think I generally do like Abbey, if she can just be truthful now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think and your take on the subject. And also be sure to check out my book, 1 Year, 100 Pounds, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And also my New You, my 1 year New You guided weight loss journal, available on my website, wholcomb.com. Both are great tools I think will help you on your weight loss journey. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.